You are not waiting to become a creator of your reality. You are creating it now. Not someday when you finally master manifestation, not after you heal every wound, not when you become perfectly aligned, perfectly confident, or perfectly clear. Right now, through what you focus on, through what you expect, through what you make things mean, through the identity you are creating from, through what you choose, through what you allow, through what you tolerate. And this is not meant to shame you in any way, shape, or form. It is meant to wake you up to your power. Because the question is not, am I creating my reality? The question is, what am I creating from? Who am I creating from? Am I creating from fear, from pressure, from old evidence, from a self concept you have already outgrown? Or are you creating from clarity, from desire, from inner authority, from a deeper truth about who you are and what is possible for you? So today, I want to talk about what it really means that you are already creating from your reality and how recognizing that can change the way that you live. And I have animals making noises in the background, so hopefully I can actually get through this recording. Anyway, I may edit that out. Anyway, welcome to Infinite You Beautiful Souls. I'm Dr. Sheri, spiritual psychologist, multidimensional mindset mentor, and soul-led success coach. Definitely a human potential catalyst. And here on Infinite You, I help you understand yourself more deeply, align with who you truly are, so you can consciously create your life, manifest whatever you want from the inside out with science, psychology, energy, biology, all the things, putting the pieces together in the most practical, clear, and effective way. And today's conversation matters because the phrase, you create your reality, has become so familiar that we can almost stop hearing what it actually means. And some people hear it and feel empowered. Others hear it and think, are you saying I caused every painful thing that has ever happened to me? And no, like that is definitely not what it means. You are not responsible for every circumstance, every loss, every injustice, or every painful experience in your life, but you are participating in the reality you experience through your consciousness, your focus, your interpretation, your perception, your emotional patterns, your identity, your beliefs, your choices. And once you understand that, conscious creation stops being a cute spiritual concept and becomes a lived practice. But before we dive in, I would love for you to subscribe to Infinite You in this growing community with these conversations. And if you know someone who may benefit from this video to understand her own power in a much deeper and more practical way, go ahead and share this video and let's dive right in. One of the biggest misunderstandings around manifestation and conscious creation is that people imagine it as something they are trying to learn how to begin. I want to learn how to manifest. I want to become a conscious creator. I want to start creating my life intentionally. But you are not starting from scratch. You are not starting from zero. You are already in relationship with reality. You are already perceiving it, responding to it, analyzing it, assigning meaning to it, anticipating what may happen next, carrying an identity into every possibility that you consider. Creation is already happening. The awakening is realizing I am not merely reacting to reality, I am participating in it. And from there, everything begins to shift. So here are 5 ways you are already creating your reality. And the first one is you create through what you focus on. Focus is not neutral. Whatever you repeatedly give attention to begins to take up more space in your lived experience. If your attention is constantly focused on what has not happened, or what has not working, or how behind you feel, for example, or what could go wrong, or why you may never get to where you want to go, then your perception, your emotions, your energy, and your choices begin organizing around that field. I have to apologize for my slipping in words. I've been recording videos all day, and I think my bandwidth is fading. Talk about what I'm focusing on. Anyhow, back to it. That does not mean that you caused every challenge by noticing it. It means your focus shapes what feels most real, and what feels most real influences how you move. So ask yourself, what am I rehearsing with my attention? Because whatever you rehearse, you strengthen, right? Number 2. So the first one, whatever you focus on. I talk about this in terms of multidimensionality, but focus is really a part of your conscious mind, a part of your 3D reality, your reticular activating system in your brain, right? So it really is all about what you are thinking about and putting your energy in that direction. The second thing to think about is how you create through the meaning that you assign. Remember, we all know this. Life happens, but the meaning that you assign to what happens is deeply creative. So a client says no. One woman decides, I'm not good enough. And another says, that was not the right fit. A relationship ends. One person decides, I will never be chosen. And another, after grieving, says, I am no longer available for love that asks me to abandon myself. The event matters. I'm not minimizing life, but the meaning you attach to an experience becomes part of what you carry forward. It shapes how you see yourself, how open or defensive you become, what you expect next. So one of the most powerful questions you can ask is, what am I making this mean about me, about life, about what is possible? How is it shaping my beliefs? How is it forming a piece of my identity, right? I talk about identity all the time. Identity, which reminds me, I have a really cool new offer for you all about your quantum identity, and like that bridge between 4D and who you believe you are and what you believe that you can create. But enough of that. Number 3, you create through your emotional and energetic baseline. You do not create from thoughts alone. You create from the frequency of the thoughts and the feelings you inhabit most often. If you live in chronic urgency, your choices will reflect urgency. If you live in quiet shame, you may shrink from receiving. If you live in distrust, even good things can feel suspicious. And I want to be clear. Emotions are definitely not bad. Fear, anger, grief, disappointment, these are definitely a part of being human. Emotion carries information, but when a certain emotional state becomes the place where you unconsciously return to again and again, it can become a part of the reality you are creating from. I talk about coherence, energetic coherence a lot. What's going on in your conscious mind? What are you focusing on? What beliefs are you holding in your 4D subconscious mind? And then what is the truth of your soul superconscious mind in 5D? I know people operationalize multidimensionality in very different ways. That's how I talk about it. 3D, 4D, 5D, conscious, subconscious, superconscious, right? So I know we talk about this in different ways. So if a certain emotional state becomes the place that you unconsciously return to again and again, it can become part of the reality you are creating from and experiencing. So ask yourself, what emotional state has become most familiar to me? And is this the state I want leading my next chapter, right? You do not have to fake joy, but you can begin becoming more available for peace. And I want to go back to what I was getting at with the energy of 3D, 4D, and 5D. When you are in energetic coherence, when your body, your mind, and your soul are aligned, where who you know to be true about who you are and what you want at the highest level of your being in your superconscious mind, getting direction from God's mind, from the quantum field, all of that stuff, have that filtered down into 4D for you, you can change your programming. You can change and rewrite the programs from which you are experiencing yourself and the beliefs that you hold, and then bring that into your conscious mind, right? When all of those levels, dimensions, parts of who you are, body, mind, soul, are aligned, you create an energetic coherence that creates a vibration. It shifts the way that you move through the world, what you think is possible for you. And in the quantum field, there are infinite possibilities available to you all the time. So ask yourself, is this the state I want leading my next chapter? You do not have to fake joy, but you can begin becoming more available for peace, for possibility, for solutions, for goodness, for trust in your own becoming. You are a conscious co-creator of your reality. You really, truly are. And I know how this human experience is a freaking giant roller coaster ride. It is absolutely part of it. We all know that. So moving on to number 4, you create through your identity. This may be the most important of all. You create from who you believe you are, not from what you want. You create from who you believe you are, not from what you want. You may want abundance, but if you identify as someone who is always struggling, abundance gets filtered through struggle. You may want visibility, but if your identity is still organized around, I'm safer when I stay hidden, your action will carry contradiction. This is why desire alone is not enough. This is why affirmations alone are not enough. The question is not only, what do I want? The question is, who am I being in relationship to what I want? Who am I being in relationship to what I want? Am I the woman waiting for evidence? Am I the woman who keeps preparing but never enters? Am I the woman who feels guilty about receiving, has one more thing to fix, one more thing to do before everything aligns and falls in place, right? We all know that feeling of like digging deeper into the subconscious mind to fix that pain or that moment or that memory or whatever, right? We don't have to do that. Or you can ask yourself, am I becoming the woman who trusts her vision, honors her desire, and begins choosing from what she knows? For sure at the soul level. Go back to soul. Be soul-led. Live a soul-led life. And I don't want to contradict myself because I just made a whole video about integrating 3D, 4D, and 5D. It's everything. It's physical. It's non-physical. It's what's going on in your mind and with your emotions, right? It's all of that. But just remember that your truth is anything floating around in your subconscious. Align with that. Create energetic coherence with that. Identity is creative because identity determines what feels natural. I want you to really hear that. Identity is creative because identity determines what feels natural for you. And what feels natural is what you are most likely to repeat. You get to decide how and when you are going to shift an old program so it is aligned more closely with who you really are, your truth with a capital T, your inner essence, your natural vibration, the vibration of God frequency. And then I also want to say, too, remember that you create through what you choose, allow, and tolerate. This is where conscious creation becomes very tangible. Your choices create. What you say yes to creates. What you say no to creates. What you postpone creates. What you normalize creates. You may say you want peace, but you continue tolerating chaos. You may say you want freedom, but you keep filling every open space with obligations you resent. You may say you want abundance, but you continue undercharging, overgiving, or refusing support. This is not about blaming yourself for patterns. It's about recognizing that reality is shaped through participation. Often we are waiting for life to change before we choose differently. I say choose differently and see what the heck happens. Sometimes the choice is the threshold. Sometimes the decision is the threshold. You choose because the current reality no longer matches who you are becoming. And you can make a different decision in an instant. You know that you are capable of doing that because you have done that, right? So, why the heck does all of this matter? This matters because if you do not understand that you are already creating, you may keep waiting for some future version of yourself to become powerful. I will say that again without corgi interruption. This matters because if you do not understand that you are already creating, you may keep waiting for some future version of yourself to become more powerful. Collapse timelines. Do not push out who you want to be and what you want to be. Do have an experience into some future date. It's here right now. Your reality is here right now. So you don't need to say things like, when I heal more, when I know more, when I feel more confident, when life settles down, then I will create. But you are creating while you wait. You are creating through the waiting. You are creating through the postponing. You are creating through the meanings you keep assigning, through the identity you keep rehearsing. And the invitation is not to pressure yourself. It is to become conscious, to ask, what am I creating from right now? Who am I creating from right now? Not as a judgment, as a doorway. Because the moment you ask that question, awareness enters. And when awareness enters, choice becomes possible. I guess for me right now, it's all about being a corgi mom and a cat mom. I digress. So here's a simple practice. What are you creating from? Choose one area of your life: money, relationships, purpose, health, work, creativity, visibility, and ask yourself, what am I focusing on most in this area? What am I making my current experience mean about me or what is possible? What's one new choice, focus, or identity shift that would begin creating something different? This is a powerful place to start. You do not need to overhaul your entire life in one afternoon. You need to become aware of the reality you have been helping rehearse and begin choosing from a truer place. And I want to say this too, as a tail end to that exercise of who you are becoming, what place are you creating from? Do like a little mini audit and think of the areas of your life that you do well without even thinking about it, right? For some people, money is easy and love is a complete and upended total disaster, right? What do you already do well that you are not even thinking about? And maybe I might create something for you, like a little PDF that you can use to assess different areas of your life to decide where you want to create from. And I think for now, I'm so sorry. I think for now I need to close and go be a corgi mom. So beautiful souls, remember, you are already creating your reality, not because your life is one giant manifestation exam, but because consciousness is creative, attention is creative, meaning is creative, emotion is creative, identity is creative, choice is creative. You are participating in your life every day, and that is beautiful news, because if you are already creating, you do not have to wait for permission to become a conscious creator. You only have to wake up to the one you already are. The possibilities are infinite. To notice where you have been creating from fear, from pressure, from old evidence, from a self you have outgrown. And to begin gently and powerfully creating from truth, from desire, from self-trust, from alignment, from the part of you who knows that more is possible. So go ahead and hit subscribe, hit like. I will put links below for my free newsletter, for my human design session. I'm a certified practitioner. And then I will put a link for a PDF. I have to create it. So I will create my quantum identity playbook and get the link in there for that. And then I will create something like an assessment for where you are in your life and the areas of your life that are already working, so you can compare and contrast what it feels like as a part of your identity to not have that stuckedness or those hang-ups or those emotional reactions that bring you into a lower vibration, so you can see that you're already doing so many things right. And that definitely matters in terms of being in high vibe, being aligned, and consciously creating from that space. Thank you for your patience. I have to go be a mom now, and I will see you all next time, beautiful souls. Namaste.